with Facebook support. So.
Twins here. Check out our friend Matthew Spirit at his podcast at The Dumb Show and his website, don'tunfriendme.com. Yeah.
Good morning, Don't Unfriend Me Nation.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? We know what we're doing. We're watching live. Olivia and I are on just for your viewing pleasure. Olivia Spear, everybody. So I figured you would all want to know. I'm talking to Facebook support right now, which is exciting. I don't think I can stream it. No, I can't. Well, no, it's Messenger. Ooh. So I can stream it with Messenger. This is the first guy who's been able. His name's Ace, and he's working on my behalf. And I just thought it's been a year, so I'd give it a try. And I'm like, dude, my pages, I'm green across the board. Now, hold on. Okay, so this guy basically is working on my account because I still don't have stars, and I can't get ad revenue off Reels. And I'm like, everyone's seen my Reels. My Reels are always me on my back patio or whatever. So they're like, you use somebody else's content. Okay, if I use other people's content, I flag it appropriately. I put it in Rights Manager. I just showed Olivia what I do every night. I go through and I make sure anyone who has claimed my works pays me, and anybody who I've accidentally claimed that I release the stuff. So this guy's like, I found the problem. So he's saying that because there were restrictions on my account at one point, that these flags remained. And he says when accounts or pages got flagged with restrictions, it's supposed to be temporary. However, there'll be like a cooling period on your account for this to be lifted up. One good thing is that depending on your activeness of your account, you'll be able to fasten up this restriction to be lifted up. Okay. It's been 2 years. So I don't know how much longer this is going to take, but he's working on it. I'm not going to show it to you because I don't want Facebook to get pissed. But this has been, I mean, Liv, how many requests do you think I've sent in over the last 2 years to have this fixed?
Maybe 50.
Maybe, if not more. And
it's just constant.
But now I'm in great standing with them. So I mean, I can show you this. I'm green. Page quality, they're recommending my page. Full monetization, Everything is green across the board for Don't Unfriend Me. And with as much content as recommendable, page has no violations. And as much shit as I get into, and as much stuff that are really controversial topics, I'm doing pretty well. Holy crap. Hold on.
I sent you a big
The
message.
easiest way for you to get this lifted is for you to hold on.
We got more subscribers on YouTube.
Good.
Only 7
give
more
them
to
an
go.
update.
Only 7 more to go till 600. Everyone jump on over to YouTube and please subscribe on YouTube. You don't need to stay there. You don't need to watch on YouTube. Just go and hit the subscribe button and then you can leave.
Yeah. So I apologize, everybody. I've been trying to work on this, and I got this guy live, and to get somebody on Facebook, I've reached the status now where I'm important enough to get a live person to help me. And, you know, here we are. So if this guy, this doesn't sound, he's like, go read the terms and conditions. I'm like, dude, that doesn't, it's like none of them know what to do. And they don't, one hand doesn't talk to another in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so let's forget this guy for a minute. And Liv, if you look over here and see that he's, you know, giving me another diatribe of information, remind me to look at it. Okay. 2 posts are going viral right now. One is this one that simply says, only 90 kids will remember this. Select gender, male or female. This one's extremely popular. It's over 200,000 views. It's being shared. It's pissing a lot of people off. I've been called a transphobe more today than I have been in the last, I don't know, 3 days. So, okay, this isn't transphobic. It's a joke. It's funny. It's funny.
You see all those, only 90 kids will remember this all the time.
Right. And it's just, you have 64 different genders. I mean, what do you want? Of course we're going to make fun of you. Of course we're going to make fun of you. I mean, when we're at the doctor's office, they'll put on their non-binary, other, transgender. I mean, it's enough, dude. Who cares? I mean, really, it doesn't matter. But this one's going viral. And in fact, I had to ban a guy because in 27 replies, this guy said he called me a homophobe, a transphobe. Hold on. Dude, these guys they don't want to lose me. He's like, I understand that you have waited longer than expected, but rest assured, Matthew, that with the engagement and the impeccable standing your page has, you are so close to getting your stars back. I never had them. I can't access stars, and it says under review for 2 years. I have all other monetization on except for stars. Please explain. Sorry, guys. I gotta do this. You just need to maintain this standing and be more careful not to get any restrictions, as this will again refresh even just one single restriction. It's a waste of time. Anyway, so this one's going viral, and people are very upset. I want to be clear. I'm not a transphobe. I don't give a crap what you do. I don't care if you're Marvin Hagler in a dress. I've told Olivia, I've seen some transgender women who are just absolutely freaking drop dead gorgeous. And I'm like, holy crap, this person completely looks like a woman. But fortunately, women are not broken down just by their looks. That's sexist in itself, right? I mean, isn't that just completely subverting all feminism? That you break women down to their lipstick and a dress. So, I mean, listen, you may call me a transphobe, but you're a sexist. If you think that women simply are just broken down by what they look like, well, then I'm cool with Sports Illustrated and half-naked booby calendars all over my gas station again. Number one. Number two, I don't have to support your ding-dong or your vagina in order for you to feel good about yourself. Why do you need my acceptance? Do you accept me for being a Trump supporter? Fuck no. You don't like me. You think I'm a Nazi. You think I'm an insurrectionist. Well, why can't you just accept me for who I am? I identify that January 6th was a sit-in and a kumbaya event. I can't play make-believe. Why do you get to? So don't sit here and say, oh, it's all about inclusivity. No, you want me to agree with you. You want me to, and I won't. Your delusion does not need me to sign off, just like your PP and your vagina doesn't need me to sign off either. You need to stop. We don't care. Do whatever you want in the privacy of your own bedroom. Just keep our kids out of it. I don't want my kids involved in this type of stuff. So just keep, that's all we're asking. So what do the people do? Well, don't you want your kids to be accepting and loving? I said, I just told you to keep my kids out of it. And you're telling me you're not coming after my kids, and then you just do that.
We have taught our kids to be open and accepting.
Always. This is the second.
And they are.
Oh, completely. Dude, my daughter has had every nationality on the planet to spend the night at my house. I mean, it's ridiculous. Every time I'm like, do you have any Hindus coming? Because I'm feeling a little left out for the Hindus. Can you please? She's had an Asian person here, black person here, Mexican, Lebanese. What's Ava? What was Ava?
It wasn't Guatemalan, was it? No, Peruvian.
Peruvian, whatever, Mexican. So she's Mexican. And we've had a ton. We've had a transgender boy who identifies as a girl stay here. Listen, not overnight. We said no to that, but they came over and hung out. And I said, great, it's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to judge. Who cares? That's their prerogative. And I'm like, oh my God, she's going to touch my child. My child's going to become transgender. Of course not. Who cares? My friend, my daughter's friends, I don't care who they are.
As long as they're a nice person and they're nice to Hayden,
I don't care either. I said, he's a boy. He can't spend the night. And he can't shower with the girls at school. There's just going to be rules. And that's fine. I'd never let any boy spend the night with my daughter until she's married. And then maybe not even then. I don't think that's going to be okay in the house either, even when she's married. So enough of that. Enough of calling me a transphobe because I put something up that's funny. It's a joke. It's a good joke. And it's a funny joke, obviously, because a lot of people are just laughing. But then there's some people coming here, oh,
Those are the people that have a stick so far up their ass, they'll never laugh again. I mean,
I think that's the problem is they like things up their asses, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't see why they're not happy about it.
It's just some people have no sense of humor anymore. And they take life way too seriously. And it's if you're going to take life that seriously, they're going to have a freaking heart attack at like the age of 30.
Well, I'm signing off with my Facebook friend. Can you please tell someone it's time and I am ready to move on with my wonderful relationship with Meta? All right, whatever. This is done. So the next one is this. Your friends, my friends, is a bunch of sheep with masks on. And then, lions and lionesses. And, there's nothing. I knew this was going to piss off liberals. I just knew it. But what are they going to say? Oh, yeah, we don't follow. Oh, yeah, we do. We don't wear masks. Oh, yeah, we do. What are you going to say? You're not going to say. The only thing you're going to say is, meh. That's all you can say. At least my friends just don't follow blindly into things. So this is great. This has created about 250,000 interactions and about 900 followers. We're ready to hit. Are we there yet? We're 775,000 right behind you, Liv.
From what? Hang on.
Can you just read what it's at?
Yeah. You're 24 away from hitting 176,000.
Wow. So we just had, that's 50 in the last 30, 40 minutes. So we're starting to crush again. We appreciate the support. So listen, if you're one of those people who are offended, just call into the show. Here's the number. I've invited people to come on and they don't show up. Just let's have a conversation. People are like, well, science says that there's more than two genders. Okay. Now, first of all, let's be specific. Okay. When we say sex, Olivia, when you hear sex, okay, stop, down girl, easy. I saw that. Did you guys see that? Her eyes
light up.
It was just like absolutely. So that was this morning. But I'm totally down for round 2, as we call it. Ding, ding. Do we have a little boxing bell?
I think so. Hang on.
So is it... No, Liv. It's not Pac-Man. There we go. That's better. Round 2. All right, anyway. So when I say sex, when it comes to what most people say gender, name the sexes. Go.
Male and female.
Okay. Now, what about non-binary?
What the hell is that?
Okay. What about other?
Again, what the hell is that? Are they
Okay.
talking about dogs and cats?
Well, here's
Mass
the deal.
hysteria?
Here's the deal. Okay, and we just need to be completely honest. When it comes to sex, there's no argument. Okay? Male, female, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. And the scientific community is not disagreeing with that. But now what they're saying is gender is a societal construct that's placed as far as male and female. But with sex, it's all about chromosome based. And any variations in the chromosome where someone has an extra chromosome or there's some sort of a defect, no offense, it's an abnormality. It's a defect, okay? Because 99.26% of people are born with XXXY. That's it. Anything else is a genetic abnormality, just like Siamese twins, just like Down syndrome. And I'm sorry, I know you don't. I don't think anyone who's transgender or has multiple, who's a hermaphrodite or is born with a certain amount of development more towards the female and the feminine side. Some people who are formed more to the masculine side. I understand that's got to be really hard. And I'm not trying to say you're a birth defect, but essentially it's what it is. And we can sit here and just like play coy with it and try to sugarcoat it, but it's a birth defect. And it doesn't mean you're defective. It just means it's not normal. It's not the normal everyday result of what a human being is. It's just not. So for those people, you can put non-binary or non-gender specific, and that's fine. I don't care about that. You can put that, or just put other. That's fine. You put other. If you have to nowadays, right? Because you want to try to classify. That's sex. But when you talk about gender is now a societal construct which confines people to certain categories, is what they're saying, based upon your mental makeup. So there are people who have more female-driven, who were late stage, that developed into males that had more effeminate brains, and the characteristics, the pantomimes, and the things that women have. This is how you have someone like Dylan Mulvaney. And then you have other people who could be a female who is very emasculated or masculine when she comes in and is raised and hits a certain age. Could be more facial hair, could be deeper voice, could be just more feelings of being a man than a woman. And this is proven, and I absolutely acknowledge it. Okay, but that doesn't make you a man. It just makes you a person who wants to be a woman or wants to be a man. And that's fine too. You can do that. Liv, do you agree?
Yes.
You can do that. Just don't expect me to call you a woman. Don't expect me to have you walk in and say, hey, how was your menstruation cycle this week? This conversation is never going to happen. Hey, when you were breastfeeding, nope, not going to happen. Do you have too much estrogen pumping into your system? No, it's just like, why? Hey, would you like to go have sex? Also another conversation. It's never going to happen. So don't expect me. But if you want me to call you, instead of Stevie, call you Susie, I'm fine with that. I'll call you Susie. But the moment that you start saying, my pronouns are she, thee, they, we, wav, walker, woosher, weezer, peezer, tweezer, I'm going to tell you go pound sand. But even if all that's true, you're still not what you say you are. You're either a man, you're a woman. Yes, but I feel like, well, that's a completely different thing. And now what you're talking about, Olivia, is what? If it comes down,
mental.
It's mental. It's
emotional.
Right. You need to go see a shrink. That's a psychological problem. And you're making our case that the feelings.
Shania, man, I feel like a woman.
I blame Shania for this. She shouldn't have.
It's all Shania's fault.
It's her fault. She's just
bullshit.
So, And I don't have a problem with that either. But if you're going to tell me that I have a penis, I stand up when I pee, I wear a dress, and I want you to call me a woman, I'm going to tell you, no. Nope. I don't think you should be in sports with other women. I don't think you should change with other women. I don't think you should be in the restroom with another woman. I don't think you should have the benefits that other women have. I don't think you should have an OBGYN. I don't think we should pretend to do mock abortions or pretend you have cramps. No, none of that. No, I don't. No, because you haven't earned it. Just like I don't want a woman pretending that she understands what it's like to get kicked in the balls or what it feels like to die young, or have to work on average 7 hours more than women for over the eternity of their lives and die 11 years earlier.
I think all those men that want to be women need to go through the fake labor. They've got those machines.
Sure.
And I totally, you want to be a woman?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
here
I
you
will
go.
be, okay. I will be
Here you
happy
go.
to put those things on my abdomen if you allow me to grab a baseball bat and hit you right in the vagina.
Yeah, no, I'm talking, I don't care about you. I'm talking about all those men out there who think they're women and think they can give birth and think they can do
men
this.
can't do that. Men can't do that because, first of all, they're not capable. And second of all, that would be the most painful gallstone you've ever had in your
I have
life.
seen those videos before and they're so funny.
Do you remember my back stimulator with the
Yes.
pads? I once put that on my testicles to see what it would feel like. I'm not going to, well, I'm a man. What do you want? Can I tell you, it was the worst possible thing. Imagine imagine a tuning fork, vibrates. Mm-hmm. And imagine that, putting that on your testicle and the amount of pain. It was just like that. I couldn't turn it off. And when I did, my entire body locked up and I'm like, and I couldn't move and turn off the thing. And I swear to God, we're not having to worry about ever having kids again. I'm telling you that. I'm shooting blanks after that.
Oh, those videos are just funny because I've seen it. It's like the men.
Yeah.
It's like they can turn it up to simulate like what it's be 1 centimeter dilated, 2 centimeters dilated.
Right.
And it's like they're freaking out after like screaming in pain after 2 and 3 centimeters. And I'm like, really? I'm like, I did through 5 with both my children at home and I worked with Hayden. So.
Well, look at this. Can you imagine a man getting up in the stirrups and the OBGYN sitting there and looking at him and, sir? Actually, it's ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Could you spread whiter? Whiter. No, I mean like Tallahassee, dude. Because there ain't no man getting in that sucker. I don't have enough KY here. I would need a cattle prod and a bodysuit, a mop suit to get up in that thing. Listen, and it's okay. You don't have to have boobs. You don't have to have a vagina. You're fine. Wear all the dresses you want. Wear all the panties. I get it. I've worn Olivia's panties before. I mean, it was...
Not with my knowledge. I must have been somewhere else.
Well, listen, I believe that you should try everything at least once just to see how it feels. We played that game. Let's just do the tip to see how it feels. I think it's important. I've never worn your underwear.
I was going to say.
It wouldn't even fit. It wouldn't even
here.
fit around my freaking knee. Can you imagine me putting those things on? It's ridiculous. And what's it going to do? It's going to look like,
It's not going to do anything for you.
it's going to look like a piece of ribbon with some lace doilies on it. It's going to look like what the Thanksgiving table looks like after you have, 30 people around it and the lace is all bunched up at the end. And no, that's not going to be. So anyway,
It's not a picture I want in my head.
I bet it's comfortable. That stuff is so smooth. Why do men have to wear these scratchy polyester style boxers and you get satin angel silk? The frack.
Satin angel.
I want to put that shit. Anyway, so never worn your underwear, but I'm willing to learn. So it comes down to you wear whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. It's okay. I don't care. I really don't. I support you. I'm not going to march with you because I've already done that 3 times. I've already been in 3 pride parades. I have no desire to go again. But I support you. But you don't need me. You've got the law on your side. You got Dylan Mulvaney. You got the mass media.
246 days of celebration on your side.
That's right. You've got 246 days of celebration. You are the least marginalized people in the world. I bet African Americans are like, what the shit is this? You call this oppression? Hold my beer. And it is a Bud Light. Hold my beer. So let's just stop pretending. Okay? Let's stop pretending. Sick of it. Okay? Be whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You just don't need my acceptance and you don't need my kids. You don't need my kids, so stay the fuck away. And if you're, a clergyman or a Mormon and you're on your mission, stay away from my kids too. Your job is not to talk to my kid. Math, science, reading, writing, that's you. That's your job. Otherwise, shut up. Leave my kids alone. I don't want your influence. I have to deal with you know, who do we have to deal with? What type of musicians are these crazy ass people? Who's the guy who dresses up like Satan, the fat guy?
Oh, that was Sam Smith?
I got to deal with Sam Smith.
Oh,
I got to deal
I
with Taylor
so
Swift.
dislike.
Like just angry Taylor Swift. I don't know what, she's dropping F-bombs like crazy in her music now. I mean, she's just pissed off. I mean, so much for, you know, Romeo and Juliet and all that shit. Now it's like, you know, castrate Romeo, eat his balls with a nice Chianti and Farvo beans. I mean, it's a little ridiculous. Is it Farvo beans or Farvo
Here
beans?
she comes. Here she comes.
Oh, crap.
Yep. Exactly. I knew that was happening.
My daughter walks in. She's like, what about Taylor Swift?
I
It isn't. You know what's funny?
She's
You
all the
can't
way-
hear clean the kitchen, but you can hear Taylor
yeah,
Swift
all
from
the
80
way
feet
in
away.
the dining room while on the phone with a friend, you heard Taylor Swift.
I get my shoes to work out and I heard Taylor Swift.
I didn't say Taylor Swift.
No, you said Taylor Swift.
No, I said Brailer Thrift, which is a new store, and it's a $5 store
We're
versus
talking
$1.
about how she's dropping F-bombs on her music
Yeah,
now.
and you know she's.
She's been doing that since Reputation. Since
Okay, I don't care.
2017.
Olivia or Hayden, I don't care. I don't care about Taylor Swift. Get out of my office.
Just talking about
Just
her.
I'm making fun of her. I don't need you to tell me her discography. I bought you her blanket. I bought you her poster. I can't afford $23,000 for a ticket. You're going to have to embrace the fact you're never going to see Taylor Swift live. Unless you get like some sort of
Unless a-
disease that lasts 24 hours and we could do Make-A-Wish.
Unless a dummy wants to start a GoFundMe to get Hayden
You know
to
what?
a Taylor
No,
Swift
that-
concert.
That is definitely an option
Come
right
here.
now.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my daughter. She needs a Make-A-Wish.
she's
I would
wearing-
like to say that.
Don't bend over.
I would like to say that is an option.
Okay, get out. Leave. You're not dressed on for TV. Get out of
No.
here.
She's gonna go work out. She's wearing her curly hair again, which I love.
Get out. Please.
Love you.
Put some
Have
clothes
fun.
on for God's
Have
sakes.
fun working out.
All right. Welcome to my daughter. God, we just got the show held hostage. We just lost like 47 viewers. That's wonderful. All right. So now that we've done the show opening and we've gone through that, now we can move on to next. Thomas says, "Come to Canada, you might get a ticket." Justin Trudeau won't let me over the border. He'll seize my funds. Can you imagine I would ever come home? I would be a political hostage if I went into Canada.
Canada.
How about it, Canada? You guys going to win the cup this year? Nope. Okay, 31 years. Anyway, I love it how they're like, the Edmonton Oilers are primed to get past the... No, they're not. Because they're going to have to face the Avalanche.
Toronto Maple Leafs don't. No matter how much you pay Austin Matthews,
It doesn't matter how much you pay
it
him.
doesn't matter.
You guys don't-
They're
you-
not going to win a cup.
you guys don't have any
Austin
depth.
Matthews is not the great white hope of the Leafs.
Your third and fourth line sucks. And in the end, the whole reason why Austin Matthews and why Connor McDavid are so incredible is because you play against Canadian teams more than 45% of the time. You guys no goaltending. All of them look like a fucking track meet. It looks like a baseball game between the Yankees and the Astros. Give me a break. You stick them in the Western Conference, the real Western Conference. You put them in the U.S., you put them in the East Coast, Edmonton would be a middle-of-the-road team. And there's no way McJesus is putting up 147 points.
There's a reason why Johnny Hockey
crushed.
went to the Blue Jackets
and he
and
sucked.
sucked.
Said he was
this
one of the
past
best
year.
players in the world. Oh, yeah. Let's look
Nope.
at Troubadour, okay? We can look at everybody who then goes to Canadian teams and actually does fairly well. Canada feeds off other low-life teams like Ottawa, which actually might be decent this year. Arizona actually looks like a shocker. They've actually got some decent players. But don't sit here and tell me that.
Didn't Ryan Reynolds buy Ottawa?
No, not yet. All right, we can't talk hockey. Nobody wants to hear it. Yep, and we swept Boston. All right, so let's get into it.
Yes,
I've
we
got
did.
some videos that are going to frustrate you. Where's Ethan? Ethan's in the room. He doesn't come in. He doesn't. He only comes in and says goodnight.
He might. I don't know. Do you want me to call him?
Why?
You said, where's Ethan?
No, somebody asked that.
Oh, I don't know where he's at. He's
So
probably going to bed soon.
Everyone's like, let's see what happens. Should be interesting. Not if it's Canada. Canada, okay. There's no disrespect. Canada is fun hockey to watch, okay? But Montreal Canadiens are bottom feeders. Vancouver Canucks are bottom feeders. Calgary Flames are bottom feeders. Ottawa Senators are bottom feeders. And you have the Edmonton Oilers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and
Winnipeg Jets.
Like, even Winnipeg they're not bottom feeders, but they're mid-road, right? So you have a bunch of bottom feeder teams, and Edmonton and Toronto feast on those Canadian teams. They feast on them. And that's like the East Coast. Everyone says the East Coast. Well, the parity, yeah, there's 8 amazing playoff teams, but there are also 8 shitty teams in the East Coast.
Yeah,
the
it's
West is a
amazing.
lot more balanced. There's only 4 shitty teams in the West. It's a lot more balanced, and 12 teams that are actually all viable for the playoffs. So everyone's like making fun of the West. It's hard. They have less points than the East. Well, that's because we don't have bottom feeders, as many bottom feeders as the East Coast does. That's why I told you, everyone's like, oh, the East Coast, it's time for the Stanley Cup. There's no way you were going to win it last year. You're not going to win it the year before. I said the Avs would spank Tampa. They did. Okay. Said the Vegas Golden Knights were going to go ahead and run a number. They did. Western Conference is leaps and bounds the best conference in the league.
There's a reason why every year that like the Eastern Conference playoff picture is set like halfway through the season by
That's
the
right.
All-Star break, and the Western Conference goes up to like the last
That's
game
right.
of the season.
The Colorado Avalanche had to lose like 467 man games not to be viable last year. They addressed their second line center. They have some very good depth. They've also got some PTOs they picked up. Avs are going to be for real. God, I would just love it if somehow Landeskog comes back. Am I okay? Yeah, we're talking hockey. Of course I'm okay. Everything's
Oh,
great.
Jason's back. Welcome back, Jason.
Jason, I'll ban you again. You better shut your face. You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
God, I've got that one.
All right. Do you have it?
I think so.
Oh,
Hang on,
crap.
hang
You
on.
have it. Great.
Hang on. Where is it?
Hurry up.
I'm looking.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Come on, Liv. Get it together. Come on. Do you have it or not?
I know. I downloaded it. I
Whatever.
just have to find. I haven't looked on.
Jason
it so
says
long.
Avs lost. Well, yes, the Avs lost, but guess who we got further then? That's right. How's Canada? How's Canada doing? Canada. Avs lost last year, there's no doubt, but there was no other team that lost as many man games as we did. We had one of the shortest seasons between cups. You know this. It's not excuses, but dude, it takes a lot. Lost our number 1 center, a guy who puts up 97 points a year every single year. You can't say that. We lost Nichushkin, who also puts up 76 points a year. We lost our entire first line productivity. We also lost Kadri, Burakovsky. Colorado Avalanche just got obliterated by injuries, and everybody said so. They were picked to win guess who's ranked to win the cup this year? I think they're number 4 or 5. Just watch what the Avs do this year. Come on.
I thought I had it. but
Don't worry about it.
apparently
Here we go.
I didn't download it.
Yeah, what WTF hell happened to the Avs? What the hell happened to the Avs? I just told you, 467 man games lost. Name another team who lost more. Name another team who lost their captain.
And
Name another team who lost their
didn't put them on the
second
long term.
LTIR and tried to do what the Knights did, which was ultimately go ahead and cheat to get one of their best players, Mark Stone, back. All of a sudden, he miraculously returned from back surgery, huh? You know what they call the Tampa Bay Lightning shuffle. When they won the cup, they beat who? They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. Then they beat the Florida Panthers. And they beat the New Jersey Devils, all 3 cups. Jason, what are you talking about? What do you want? New Jersey Devils dropped to the Avs, Tampa Bay Lightning, and we're the only team in sports history who are undefeated in championship games. Do you know that? The only team who's played more than one championship who's undefeated. We're the only 3-0 team in the history of sports. So if you want to talk trash about the Colorado Avalanche, you can, but you're just making yourself look stupid. And if you want to argue with me about hockey, you make yourself even look dumber. Here.
including me.
Yeah, Olivia and I will we'll destroy you.
I know more about hockey than most guys. Just
Matt, can
Well,
I
you
ban
know.
David Gomez? You never have to ask permission to ban David Gomez. He's banned the moment he shows up in chat. He's gone. Yep. Get rid of him. Every time. Every time he creates an account, ban. You know what? No. Don't do it. Don't do it. We're going to do this right. We're going to get my ban on him.
Yep.
Because when I ban him, he stays banned. It's like raid.
He ain't coming back.
He ain't ever coming back. Bum, 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 bum. David Gomez, now's your chance to say something. If you're going to say something, say it now or forever hold your peace. All you got to do, David, is say, Matt, don't ban me. Just say, Matt, don't ban me. It's all you got to do. I got you right here. Just say, Matt, don't do it. And I'll be nice to you. I'm waiting, David. I need to see some contrition. That's right. I need to see some contrition from you, David. Show me a little bit and I'll let you survive.
Oh, Amy got him.
What do you mean you got banned?
Amy
You guys
got
didn't ban him forever, though. because he keeps coming back. You got to ban him forever. See, guys, I was trying to lure him in here. Let me see if I can find him. Can somebody put his tag up so I can find his page and ban him? Come on. All right, well, somebody ban that Jack off. Anybody wants to talk hockey? Tampa will kick Colorado's ass. Oh, was that what you did
Last year?
Is that what you guys did when we won the cup and beat you guys 4-2 and embarrassed you all over the ice? And the only reason you won that game in Tampa Bay was because you guys fucking muddled your own ice. You guys tried that shit against every team for 2 years in a row. The only time you didn't get a chance to do that was in the bubble. You guys muddled your ice. You tried to slow down the Avs by muddling your ice. How cheap is that? You guys are dirty. You guys suck. And you also frickin' LTIR your players and then bring them back and frickin' in the playoffs and you're $9 million over the cap. Dude, Tampa Bay's a shit team, dude. You know they're a shit team. Vasilevsky's not the best goaltender. Not at all. You guys got a bubble cup. Give me a break.
Bubble cup.
You guys got a bubble cup. Oh, COVID cup. Give me a break. You didn't have to play in front of anybody. You didn't have to hear 19,000 people basically scream and say you're shit the whole time. Give me a break. The bubble cup. Listen to your excuse. Ban Jason Wixom. Get him out of here. He's gone. He's gone. Ban him forever. I don't want him on the page anymore. Don't ban him. I'm teasing. But Jason, I notice how you won't call in and have this argument. You just sit there from afar. Tampa Bay. All right, let's get to it. I could argue with Jason Wixom, but honestly, he's already lost the conversation. Tampa Bay will kick the Colorado up. What's our record against Tampa Bay in the last 20 years? Oh, okay. We love Florida teams. We sacrificed the frickin' Rats and barbecued those guys up. It's fantastic.
Kirsten put up David's Facebook link if you wanted to.
Oh, there it is?
There
Oh,
it is.
cool. Hold on.
Thanks, Kirsten.
Hold on. Let me have this update. Come on. We'll start right after this. Where is it at?
She just posted it.
Oh, dude, I got to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put McConnell on. Then we're going to do the show. And we're done talking about BS that nobody wants to hear about, even though I could talk hockey all night.
So could I. And baseball.
And baseball. Oh. It'd be so much easier. All right. There's David. That's Noe Reyes. Liv, that is him.
I have to see his picture.
And that's his old
See, I don't remember him.
You don't remember him?
Because I was pregnant and freaking with an infant and a toddler when you worked there. And I just...
Block David and all future profiles. Oh, David, that sucks. You're out of here, buddy. 86 Ola. All right, David's gone. See, that's what happens when you have the God smack. All right, Matt, let's not talk baseball and cheating. What's cheating? You telling me New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox, Los Angeles Dodgers all got caught for the same thing. You know what? You didn't see it in the press. You know what happened to Cora? Nothing. You know what happened to the Yankees? Absolutely nothing. You know what happened to the Dodgers? Nothing. We beat them in 6 and 7 inside Dodgers Park. There was no cheating in the park. They got us for 43 games. Yeah, there's no doubt. But guess what? You just don't like it.
Last year.
Yeah,
in
what happened?
22.
Just crushed everybody last year. Guess what's going to happen this year when we hit the playoffs? We got the best rotation in baseball. We just
And we just got Brantley back.
We just got Brantley. We just signed 6 games in a row with the highest frickin' runs earned in the last 20 years of baseball history in the last 4 games. 67 hits in the last 4 games. You don't want to face the Astros. Nobody wants to face the Astros. Give me a break. Jason, listen, come armed. You want to talk? You should probably talk politics with me. That's going to be more up your alley. All right, let's go. McConnell. Mitch McConnell, I played a video for you guys a couple of weeks ago in regards to him forgetting his lines. This is bad. This is cringe. This is not a good idea. It's not a good idea at all. This guy is struggling. And this is just as bad as Dianne Feinstein. This is just as bad as Joe Biden. This is worse than Joe Biden. If you're calling for Joe Biden's removal under the 25th Amendment for mental incapacity, then you need to do the same thing for Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell needs to retire today. A new speaker needs to be assigned today. Minority leader needs to be assigned today. Got Kevin McCarthy up there. Whether you like him or not, I've got no problem with Kevin McCarthy and the job he's done. Not going to lie. I wish he would be a little bit more stringent and tough, but whatever. But Mitch McConnell, as Senate Minority Leader, he needs to go. It's not funny. It's not anything. James Cote says, dummies learning sports. I'm trying to teach them, but they don't understand that I'm better at hockey and baseball than I am at politics. So, yeah, that's not a good idea to go with me on hockey, but that's okay. Here we go. I want you guys to watch this. This isn't good.
Okay.
Liv.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
Yep.
Did he have a stroke?
He's having a seizure.
okay.
He needs to step down. He's very, very, like, that's really bad.
Listen, he wasn't any good at his job anyway, and he's certainly not going to get better now. Mitch McConnell's always been a uniparty rhino. He doesn't like Trump. He's always been a Tea Party type candidate. He was a Paul Ryan type person. Michelle Bachmann. This is just, it's just sad. And I don't care if he was the most fervent Republican and an able-bodied conservative on the planet. There's no reason for him to be here. It's a shell. It's a complete waste of time. Hey, Josh, been a while since I've seen you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. He's a complete shell of what he's supposed to be. This is the guy who's supposed to be leading the Senate. Now, the Senate's responsibility is obviously checks and balances, and is really the vocal point and the voice between the presidency and the House. And as minority leader, his job is to ensure that he is rallying support from his constituents through the Republican base that's there in the Senate to push through legislation or to revoke legislation. And if he's not there whipping people into shape on basically what the party platform is, what the party focus is, what the overall responsibilities are of those Republicans in the Senate, then shit's not getting done. And it just comes down to a decision needs to be made, and somebody needs to step in. He needs to be forced to retire, but the problem is they've got an egg timer on Dianne Feinstein and an egg timer on Mitch McConnell. And unfortunately, it's like the battle of the geriatrics. Which one's going to go first? I say what you do is you put them in Thunderdome, bitch, and one man enters and one man leaves. 2 men enter and 1 man leaves. Throw a knife in the middle of the ground and let Feinstein and McConnell figure it out. I mean, we might have to wait a session or two for them to get to the actual knife and crawl to it or hobble to it. They may forget what they're doing in there. But ultimately, just have a death off. Because this is crazy. I mean, it's just stupid. You're just waiting for one of them to kick the bucket. And this is the same thing that happened with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Had no business being on the courts. I mean, she was too old. She should have been forced to retire, but you can't make a justice retire.
They need to do a cognitive test and make them pass those tests once you hit a certain age, because your brain really does go downhill once you hit a certain age.
Right. And he can step down. And it's not like we lose the seat. I mean, we're going to have to vote on a new minority leader, but that's the thing that they don't want to do. They obviously want to wait till 2024, and they're waiting this out. because there's going to be a new face to the Senate. And you don't want to have to vote for a minority leader, have it be contentious, and then gain the majority in the Senate. You don't want to do that. You don't want to show instability, but this doesn't help. This does not help. And it shows weakness in the party that we're incapable of making the tough decision, and it needs to happen. So Mitch McConnell, folks, not doing well. Anything else on that, Livy?
It's just sad. It really
It is. He's not a bad guy. I don't like his policy.
They should be able to go and live out the rest of their days with their grandkids.
With all the money they stole from us. Yeah.
And go enjoy the rest of their life, not in the public eye.
Yeah. Speaking of homophobia and transphobia, Dylan Mulvaney has some words for us.
Oh, yay. I'm so excited.
I am.
Yay.
Oh, so is Dylan. Dylan has upped his game, and they are absolutely... yeah. Let's listen.
Oh my God. Hi.
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Oh my God. Do you believe in God? I'm just wondering. You're using the Lord's name in vain. Are you praying? Here we go.
Oh my God. Hi.
What's up, buddy? Come here. Good night. Love you, Squirt. See you in the morning. See you, buddy. Close the door. Okay.
You know, I'm really shocked because I thought...
Breakout creator. This person got the Breakout Creator Award and I didn't get it. How come I didn't get the Breakout Creator Award? I'm self-funded, self-made, learned it all myself, created this whole thing. Olivia came in late, have Amy here, Leroy here. We all generated the Don't Unfriend Me show, figured out lighting, figured out audio. We write tens of thousands of words a week. We develop content all over the place and great memes that entertain you. And I don't get a content creator award, but Dylan Mulvaney does. Why? Because he puts on a farkin' dress?
Somebody needs to nominate you for that.
Someone should put me on it. I put on a dress, Matt. Well, I do. Just only on days that end with Y.
The only
in the bedroom.
Glenn says you ain't trans, as far as you know.
award I would ever maybe win was maybe a Tony Award, but now I'm a musical theater gal with a streamy. Theater.
And you're showing your chest on a dress you can't fill. Look at all these women. Look at all these women. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you dignifying this shit? That's not a woman. It's a guy. And you're applauding this person. How many women didn't get this award? You're telling me Ashley St. Clair from Twitter doesn't deserve this award more than Dylan Mulvaney? A fantastic content creator. Funny. Hotter than Dylan Mulvaney for sure. Better creator by far.
Who?
What about Liz Wheeler? Liz Wheeler doesn't deserve it? She's a fantastic content creator. Why doesn't she get it? There's a lot of content creators out there that are female that deserve this more than a guy. Okay? I mean, Candace Owens, I hate her new show, so I'm not going to even give Candace Owens any love. But Tommy Lauren, she's been doing this a while. Does she get any love? Why is it that Dylan Mulvaney gets this award? And if he can go ahead and identify as a woman, why can't I? I'm offended. I wasn't nominated. Why wasn't I nominated? I have bigger tits than Dylan Mulvaney. It's called muscle, but it's bigger tits. Seriously, I could fill that dress. I could rock that dress. That dress, I would look good at my hairy chest might get in the way, but whatever.
TikTok, we made it to the mainstream. 532 days ago, I made a coming out video that turned into my Days of Girlhood series. And my life has been changed for the better. But on the flip side, there's also been an extreme amount of transphobia and
it's okay. It's
Days of Girlhood?
Okay. It's not transphobia and hate to disagree with you. Why is it called transphobia? Listen, I'm going to say it right now. Dylan Mulvaney, I don't care. I don't care. The only thing I care about is you pretending that you're a woman. Just stop it. It is so disrespectful to my daughter that I got to go to my daughter and tell her that Dad, is this a man? No, it's not. It's a woman. I can't lie to my kid. I'm not going to do it. Just knock it off. This is not a woman and should not be taking space on the dais as a woman. And I don't Liv, tell me I'm crazy.
He's not a woman, and it's freaking insane.
I need to get you your new mic arm because I want the mic to come up so people can see your lovely face and your lovely womanhood.
And I know that my community is feeling it, and I now know that even our allies are feeling it. And I look around this room and I just see so many amazing allies that have platforms, and I think
I don't think the carpet matches the drapes, and I'll tell you why. Because you've got brown eyebrows. There's
Looks better as a brunette.
Much better as a brunette. Looks much Katharine Hepburn. You look like a strung out Gwyneth Paltrow who basically just did about 27 lines of meth.
I thought he looked pretty as a brunette, not as blonde.
I feel pretty. I feel pretty. I feel pretty and gay.
allyship right now needs to look differently, and you need to support trans people publicly
Why do we have to support trans people publicly? Why? What does that mean? Why? Okay, why do we have to support trans people? Why do we have to support what you do with your genitalia? Why? This is the same thing with LGBTQ. Why do I need to celebrate where you stick your penis and where you put your vagina? Why do you need, if you need my reassurance, then you're doing something wrong. If you need me to quantify your decision, then you can't qualify your decision. I mean, isn't that really what it is? I don't go to you and say, guys, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my massively large and coffee can girth 12-inch penis in my wife tonight. Who's with me? Nobody says that. Because heterosexuals don't need confirmation. We don't want you to know about our sex lives. We don't want you accepting it. We don't need it. Why do you need it? Because you know it's not true. So you need us to pretend. You need us to pretend that this is normal. It's not normal, and I won't pretend it's normal. Never. And you can call me a homophobe like 50 years from now. It could be 2073, and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, the days of trans America, when half the country, more than half, 90% of the country dislike trans people. And today we have San America, the all-inclusive transgender Disneyland, and you're selling transgender flakes, right? It's a half box with Caitlyn Jenner, and when you turn it a hologram image, it turns into Bruce Jenner from doing the decathlon. Whatever it is, I don't care. And it's most accepted. Our Constitution is they change all the amendments, and the First Amendment is love thy neighbor, whether they have a dick or a pussy. I don't care. I'm still gonna be. You're not a woman. You're a guy. You're a guy, and I don't care. And nobody is going to turn that into the N-word. Nobody's going to turn it into homophobia because those things are tangible and real. There's people who hate others simply because they want to love somebody who's different than what you want to love. That's wrong. But for me to sit here and say, you can be trans, you can dress anything you want, I'm just not going to sit here and tell you that you're a woman because you're not. And there's nothing that you're going to do. I don't care how much pressure there is. I don't care how much you cancel me. I will never support your delusion. But it doesn't mean I don't support you. Doesn't mean I don't say you can't do that. I got your back, sister. Well, no, I don't. I got your side. I got your side, sister. Don't want your back. Not into it. But I got your side. And Dylan Mulvaney, I have no problem. I didn't cancel Bud Light. I don't care. If Dylan Mulvaney gets a contract with somebody, good. Good for them. Make all the money you can, Dylan, because you know what? It's not going to be around all the time. You got your 15 minutes of fame. Cash in as fast as you can and make it last. And good for him. You know what? He doesn't know what he wants to be. 1 minute he's heterosexual. The next minute he's gay. Now he's a lesbian. He doesn't know what the hell he is. He can't decide. Now he says he's bisexual because he just doesn't understand. He's going through some mental issue. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. I support PTS. Vets do it all the time.
I thought he was down in Peru or something because he was scared for his life.
I'm obviously not that scared to come back and get a Silky Award or whatever the hell it is. It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do, but just stop making me have to embrace your delusion. Because I'm not going to look at my daughter and say, Daddy, can I call you mommy? No, you better. No. Do you want to be disowned? I'm not your mommy. I'm your dad. That's your mom. Okay? And just because I wear a dress and put on lipstick, honey, and I go out and go on drag on Saturday night, doesn't make me a woman.
And proudly And I think the trans community and the creator community actually have something in common, and it's that people often underestimate us. But I know that we can stay optimistic about just the future of transness in general, because if we can influence people to buy $22 Air One smoothies, we can also do this. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go have a beer, and I love ya.
So, yeah, milk that turnip for all it's worth. I'm going to say one thing. If I can't do blackface, you can't do woman face.
Amen. There you go.
If I can't do blackface, you can't do woman face. I'm going to make a new shirt. You can't do it. If I can't dress as Ice-T or Tupac or KRS-One or Biggie Smalls and some of the best rappers that I love, if I can't do Digital Underground, if I can't dress up and get a third base haircut or Kid and Play, you can't do woman face. Can we call it fair? Liv, what do you think of all this, being a transition man to woman?
I think it's ridiculous. Be who you want to be, but why does it have to be everywhere? Why are we marginalizing real women by celebrating the Woman of the Year is actually a man? It's marginalizing us, marginalizing women.
Yeah.
And what we go
And that should be
through-
my job.
What
I should marginalize you as your husband, right? That's my role.
Exactly. What females go through from the time we're young, puberty and everything else, I'm sorry, you're not a woman. You haven't gone through the trials and tribulations of being female, and you never will. And you'll never be a female. It doesn't matter if you get your penis lopped off and you build yourself a vagina. You're still not a female. You never will be. And I don't.
Does that come in like a Betty Crocker easy bake oven?
I don't.
You just put your penis in a pan and then it comes back as a vagina?
Apparently.
Like a Mr. Potato Head? Didn't they cancel Mr. Potato Head though?
They did.
Seriously, this is nuts,
it's
literally.
Ridiculous. I should not have to celebrate you. You don't celebrate me.
Yeah.
Why should I have to celebrate you?
Why do I have to celebrate your sex? You know what? No one was there when my parents were conceiving me. Look, go ahead, get it on in there, Mr. Spear. All right, make that shot a winner. Let's get little Maddie. Nobody did that. No, slap my dad on his ass. There you go. Nice job, Richie. Good job, Dickie Spear. You're the best. Then my mom get her a little towel and wipe her head off and go, Mrs. Spear, you're a champion. You make sure you got that 99.3 temperature rocking and rolling to have that kid. My mom's like, thanks. Without you guys, we couldn't have done it. Nobody was there. Nobody cheered my parents on. Just no. I don't care. Have all the sex you want. Do all the freaky deaky shit in the bedroom. Olivia and I are all about it. Liv, put it up. All about it. But we don't sit here and tell you, hey guys, I'm going to tie Olivia up later and I'm going to get some Jello. And then we're going to go ahead.
Chocolate sauce and whipped cream.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to tie me upside down with Nike laces and Reebok. And then she's going to go ahead and read me Little Women and spank me with a feather. Can everyone accept me? Can everyone send me some GoFundMe money? Could everyone like this post simply because I need affirmation that that's okay? No, if you have to ask, then you know it's wrong. So stop pretending. Just do the things you do, man. Just do that stuff in the bedroom that you want to do. And if you want to dress like a woman, you don't have to tell anybody. Because if you have to tell somebody, one, you're not convincing as a woman.
Seeker.
And you're an attention seeker. You're not convincing as a woman, or you're an attention seeker. Because you know what I've never heard from any woman? This. Yes, come in. Hi. My name's Fred, and I'm a woman. Never heard it. I've also never heard a woman walk in and go, hi, what's your name? Matt Spear. It's wonderful to meet you. By the way, I'm a woman. Nope, never. Not once. I've never heard anybody walk in and go, hi, I'm a Christian. Hi, I'm a blood donor. Hi, I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Because let's face it, nobody would say that. Because there's things that are usually done way before that. Like, what's your name? Who are you? Where are you from? Do you work here? Do you shop here often? There's so many other questions. And hey, where do you put your penis? Are you a tuck or a clip?
Duck or cliff?
Does the carpet match the drip? Who cares?
Do you bat or pitch?
Do you catch or pitch?
Catch or pitch. That's
Bat
it.
or pitch. That would hurt.
Yeah.
That would hurt, especially with me.
It's not real baseball talk.
Oh my God, that'll put an eye out. If I can't dress in blackface, you can't dress in woman face. That's it. That's it. Stop pretending. Nobody believes you. Your delusions are your own. Just listen, be nuts like the rest of us. Why do you have to be accepted? Just be just a little past normal mentally like all of us are. That's all. Stupid. Stupid. Dylan Mulvaney. You know what? And I don't have a problem with Dylan Mulvaney. I have no issue. Oh, you can't go. All right, hurry up. Go pee. You going to stand up when you do it? Always. Identify. Yeah, we're going to show the Don't Tread video real quick, but I've got another one to show while Olivia's coming back for the restroom. This is basically a very angry Jamie Lee Curtis and a black Jamie Lee Curtis. It's interesting. Oh, Debbie says, hold on, listen to this. Listen to this whimsical little nugget. The difference between kinky and perverted is kinky is using a feather. Perverted is using the whole bird. Yeah, it's like Richard Gere with the gerbil. That's like. So this is what Debbie said. The difference between kinky and perverted is kinky is using a feather. Perverted is using the whole bird. Can I have the Tums?
That's freaking funny.
See, I have a heart. I have heartburn. It's my workout shake. Give me a little heartburn. This is an evil Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm reading. Alicia says, my externship, I think an internship, maybe it's externship, and I don't know what it is, was in a mental hospital for schizophrenics and multiple personalities. Do the voices in your head agree with you? Okay, sorry. Trans have more personalities than the patients I dealt with. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. So I want you to listen to this person. And I truly want you to listen to the delusion and derangement when it comes to Trump. And then we're going to show the Don't Tread video and then get off of here. So I want you to watch this. Listen to this.
March 4 trial date that was set today by Judge Chutkan. Do you think it's fair?
So this is in regards to the March 4th date where they're doing back-to-back trials on top of each other right before Super Tuesday for Donald Trump, which of course is not fair. But this lady is going to go ahead and get up in arms because they're using something. And this is a lawyer, okay? This is a fucking lawyer. And I'm going to put her to bed in just a second.
Oh, it's absolutely fair. Judge Chutkan deliberated, heard everyone, both sides, and said it.
Mike, is my tooth getting better? No. Basically, this is what the roof of my left mouth looks like. Tooth with a bridge, pulled tooth, other tooth. This tooth right here is strong. This tooth is strong. This one's failing. They're going to cut the bridge, which is metal and porcelain, yank that tooth. Unfortunately, it's attached to my sinus canal, and that is when I had my accident and I lost my entire jawbone here. See that? It's all gone. No jawbone. That's why I've got a huge impression, because this is where I got hit by rifle butt when I had my parachute accident. So this took out the whole side of my face, took out these teeth, everything else. And then it popped a tooth when I was down and it ripped open my sinus canal, ultimately getting bacteria and everything else on there. My sinus canal was just, I was literally going to die. My brain was probably hours away from infection, blood infection. And most assuredly, that was what was going to kill me before anything. So this one is also needs to be pulled so they can save the bridge, which is thousands of dollars, but it is attached to my sinus canal and they're very concerned that this problem tooth is going to pop my sinus canal. And if it does, I need to get a sinus canal lift. So I have to go into oral surgery to get it done. Does it hurt? Yeah, it always hurts. My teeth hurt every day, but so does my back. And so does half the other parts of my body. So does my penis. just occasionally. Sometimes they get some chafing because Olivia doesn't appreciate and take care of me and moisturize. So anyway, it's bad. But you know what? It's not. You know what it isn't? It isn't worse than what you're about to watch right here.
Date that I think is a reasonable date. It may get changed, but for now I think it's reasonable. But
by the way, to the wonderful receptionist at the dental place today, who remembers me from 2.5 years ago, and asked me, hi. She walks in all nervous and sweetest lady. I don't know if she's Republican or Democrat. So either she loves this show or she fucking hates it. I don't know. But she's like, I remember you had a podcast. And I also know that it was pretty big. And I think then it was like 40,000 people. And I'm like, it's doing okay. She's like, where are you at now? And I said, well, 175,000 on Facebook and another 50,000 podcast listeners. And a few thousand spread out over here and there. And she's like, oh my gosh, could I have your address? I said, yeah, it's at thedumbshow.com, don'tunfriendme.com. So then she's like, okay, thank you. And she leaves. And then she comes back and she has a little Post-it note with a pen. She's like, could you write it down? I'm like,
who is this?
This is one of the dental hygienist assistants. Whatever.
One of the nice ones.
Yeah, the other lady. And comes back and I start writing it down, and she's like, thank you. And I said, well, it's a political show. I try to stay in the middle, but you may not like it. Whatever. And she's like, oh, no, I love listening to podcasts. I'm like, okay. And I said, do me a favor, when you're on the show, call it out that you're listening, and I'll embarrass you. I don't know if she's listening, so I'm assuming she probably turned it off because she's like, this guy's a fucking dick. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be cussing tonight. But she probably wasn't happy with me. But maybe she is. Maybe this is like right up her alley. And she's like, go women. Trans people aren't women. And I don't know. But here's the thing. This is the great thing about this show. If you don't agree with me, just stick around. There's something you're going to agree with me sooner or later. Because I promise you, it's not always conservative. It's not always liberal. But I have various opinions that are not politically aligned. Nobody tells me what to think. I make my own opinion. You can agree with it. You can disagree. I don't care. I'm going to do a Joe Biden. I don't care.
And if you don't like it, just don't watch.
Just don't watch. Or guess what? You don't have to step in dog shit. You can go around it. You're the one who's choosing to walk in it. If you think my show's dog shit, well, don't step in it. Don't come over. I would much rather you do, but I'd rather have you get on here and talk to me. Okay? Are they going to put an implant in? You know what? This secondary tooth that it's double posted on is strong. So what they're going to do is they're going to put a flipper. They're going to put a fake tooth in there, and then they're going to do an implant after 6 because they got to do the extraction. Then it's got like a month and a half, 2 months to heal. Then they got to put in the implant, wait for that for 6 months. I can't go without a tooth for 6 months. You guys will be making fun of me left and right. So I'm going to get a flipper. So they're going to pull it, and then they're going to put a little fake. I'll basically look like Eric Johnson from the NHL, who's now a Buffalo Sabre, not a Nav. Okay? All right.
Oh, I forgot.
I know. Watching the rest.
I'll tell you, Caitlin, the moment in that hearing that struck me, I can only have 2 words to describe it, as stunningly stupid. And that was when Trump's attorney compared their desire to delay the case to what happened in the case of Powell versus Alabama, a 1931 case involving the Scottsboro boys who were convicted of raping 2 white women. And the case went to the U.S. Supreme Court, and their convictions were reversed. And what the Trump team did was say that, well, what happened in that trial is what could happen here in this trial, which is absolutely absurd. In the Scottsboro case, the Scottsboro boys were indicted and were in trial 6 days later, not even given the opportunity to choose their attorneys. In this case, there was an indictment, but that was the trial date is 7 months out. He has experienced lawyers, a whole team, investigators. And it was stunningly stupid because, one, the comparison is ridiculous. But second, if you want to alienate a judge in a case, this was exactly what to do. A female judge, a black judge, and to talk about that case and compare it to Trump's case was absurd. And Judge Chutkan really took them up on it and said, this case is entirely different. I think she was absolutely offended. It was really a stunningly stupid thing to do.
There's nothing more stunningly stupid than saying stunningly stupid 4 times and continuing to do it throughout this video. I'm going to wreck this lady with 2 sentences in just a moment, but let's go ahead and can finish watching. By the way, the girl on the left who is the one who did the interview with Trump for MSNBC, I think it was.
These round or the town hall.
Yeah, the
style
town
meeting,
hall, right?
but
That was stacked
was
with all
not
Trump
a town
supporters,
hall.
and she was just completely against him. I swear to God, at this point, I mean, her jaw, she might be Dylan Mulvaney 2.0. I want a skirt check. Okay, so somebody get a phone and drop some quarters or something and let me know, because I think that I see some 5 o'clock shadow. I'm just letting you know. Now that I see her in light and I see her on the news desk, it's a man, baby. I'm just saying, I think so. Just tell me I'm wrong. But this is Ladoris Hazard Cordell. 3 names, of course. Of course it's a 3-named liberal. What's new? All 3 named liberals are freaking nuts, okay? And if you have 3 names, don't take it personal. It's an inside joke, but it's honestly, it's true. It's true. I'm not. It's not funny. It's true. 3 named people are nuts.
Yeah, she knows.
Except if you're a Republican. And you watch my show, and you've bought merchandise, and you go ahead and support me. Otherwise, you're nuts.
As you did there, I mean, the timing difference of that, and also just the completely different cases. I mean, if you had been the judge in that room today, what would you have said to Trump's defense attorneys when they brought that up?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would have read the pleadings and probably maybe had a law clerk with me. And I think my first thing would have been, wait, what? Having read it and then decided.
If she's a man, she's a very good looking man.
We're going to address this in the courtroom.
But I've always appreciated masculine looking women, even though Olivia is not very soft on the eyes. But I've always appreciated more masculine Greek, Persian women, you know, always. And Hispanic, you know, it's always, yeah, always, except for Olivia.
I'm Hispanic.
No, you're not. You're white. You pretend to be Hispanic. You're not. You're the whitest Mexican I've ever met in my life. Like, you know how they have white, you know how they have white beans?
Right?
You know how they have white beans? There you are.
Yeah. You've seen a picture of my grandmother. Yeah. From Mexico, red hair, blue eyes,
fake
fair
news.
skin.
It's fake news. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You thought that ketchup was spicy in the hamburger place we went to. I'm Greek too, Victoria. I've got Greek, German, Dutch, Irish, French, Scottish, Welsh. I've got African American blood in me too. I have more African American blood in me than Elizabeth Warren has Indian. Just letting you know. Oh, excuse me, Native American, dots, not feathers. Or feathers, not dots.
She said it was profoundly different, and I think she was offended.
Matt, why do you call Olivia Mexican? She looks as white as me. Don, because she says she's a Mexican. I don't believe it.
My grandmother was born in Mexico.
She's like Italian, or
everyone thinks I
she
know
looks
Italian
Israeli.
blood in me.
She looks more like Natalie Portman. She looks more like Jewish descent than Mexican, but she is Mexican.
Yeah, my grandma was born in Mexico. She just had red hair, blue eyes, and fair skin.
Right. See, totally. But she looks like she's Italian, Israeli. She always looks good on her back. I'll tell you that much.
I don't have any Italian or Israeli blood in me, so.
No, but you do have some German and Greek. Often.
Every once in a while, yes.
So hopefully there's a learning curve on the lawyer's side to not go rogue like this again and take cases that have absolutely nothing in common and try to show that they do have something in common, which in this case they did not.
And one of the biggest points of disagreement was over the amount of discovery, the timing here. And Judge Chutkan was saying, you know, discovery in 2023, it's not like sitting in a warehouse with boxes of paper where you're looking at every single page. But do you think the defense has a legitimate point when they say it is a lot to go through in this time frame that they have on their hands?
I think the defense has a very good point to make about discovery and going through the documents. As you've noted, fortunately, we're at a time where things are digitized. You can do word searches to look through documents. So it's not to belittle the fact that there are lots of documents that have to be gone through. At the same time, this judge is aware that this is a new day, and there's a way that they don't have to sit down and go through every single piece of paper. In addition, the prosecution has said, look, we're not even going to use classified documents when we present our case. So I know she gets it, and having been a litigator herself, she understands. She was a defense attorney. She understands exactly what's involved in discovery. So I think this was a fair conclusion for her to come through, to give them the time to go through the documents and be ready to go to trial in March.
Trump wasn't at that hearing today, but he wrote on social media shortly after that he is going to appeal this date. I mean, is it clear to you on what grounds he would appeal this on, could be able to. Is that even possible here?
I think it is not possible, and his lawyers know this, to appeal a trial date.
Bullshit.
It's not possible. So
Bullshit.
it's all talk, which is what he does.
Bullshit.
This man has a constant need to talk. Sometimes the talk is just it's incoherent, makes no sense, and this makes no sense. His lawyers
Is it
know
stunningly
you can't appeal
stupid?
a trial date. So this talking will continue, and I will tell you, he is a nightmare for his lawyers. When you have somebody like Trump who has a fragile ego, who is a misogynist, who is a racist, in my view, and who also has this constant need to
Sounds
talk,
completely impartial.
and there's a term for that,
Very
logorrhea,
balanced.
then that is a real problem.
All right,
It's
shut up,
going to be
Jamie
an
Lee
issue
Curtis.
for his lawyers to try to.
Hey, if I can't wear blackface, you can't do Jamie Lee Curtis face. Knock it off. That's Jamie Lee Curtis's look. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and just say 2 sentences for the first time in my life and put this to bed to that obnoxious, stunningly stupid lady. Stunningly stupid. Can I say that without being sexist?
Stunningly stupid.
Can we get a soundbite of her saying stunningly stupid?
Sure. Why
Because
not?
if you add another S to that, that would be one of the best tongue twisters ever. Stunningly stupid, Sweetwater, superfluously. Say that 4 times really fast. So here's my thing. Real simple. Real simple. I'm just going to give you one word to put her to bed. Precedent. That's it. Precedent. You don't have to show lines of delineation that the cases were the same. You have to show something that would create disparity in your ability to create a case that is not only fair and just, but actually gives you the same advantage that anyone else would have. You have to look at previous cases and judge whether this timeline, somebody who is running an election campaign, somebody who is responsible and innocent until proven guilty and is awarded all of those nuance, because you can't create penalty and you can't sentence this person when a trial has never taken place. So you have to consider what this person does. For instance, if they were an actor like Johnny Depp, he has to be able to go overseas. He has to be able to travel to do movies and earn a living. So they had to accommodate his work schedule. This is why the Depp and I Shit My Pillow girl literally took years to get through. This is what happens. Now, you're saying that Donald Trump, you're going to have to prove that he didn't believe there was election interference. This guy has the ability in discovery to subpoena every single record from every county. He can subpoena every ballot. He can go through hundreds of thousands, millions of ballots from Georgia in order to try to plead his case. He can go through all voting records. He has to be able to go through all the affidavits. He has to go through the sworn testimony and depositions of all the people who've been charged. He has to go through what the grand jury had for investigation and their affidavits and depositions. They not only have to do that, they have to counteract the charges. They have to investigate all these indictments and all these individual charges. And not only is it murder or larceny or grand theft auto, but you've got a slew of charges that all have to be disproven, because even one conviction can cost him the presidency. You can't do that in 7 months. Now, I will agree. Donald Trump's a little bit of a whiner, and he likes to go ahead and draw attention and say some stupid things. But in this case, this is a completely bullshit. I've told you this Georgia investigation is the one where I think Donald Trump 100%, with no equivocation, most of this is going to get thrown out. And because this is an intent case, you have to prove what was in his mind at the time. You're not going to be able to prove that. I don't care what he said, she said. I don't care how many witnesses have said, oh, well, Donald Trump told me that the election was fake and he was what? No, it doesn't matter. All Donald Trump has to do is say, I plead the fifth on everything except for the following. I believe the election was stolen, and I still believe it today. He's done. He walks away. It becomes a freedom of speech
and the
case.
precedent was set by Hillary Clinton of intent.
That's correct. And you can go ahead and say, well, and he's demonstrating precedent in this previous case for a trial of this magnitude. Now, what happened to those boys absolutely was uncalled for, but they can go ahead and appeal the decision and declare a mistrial on this. It can go forward. But if you think Donald Trump isn't going to appeal and show bias from this judge every time she overruled the defense, every time he asks for a change of venue and doesn't get it, every time he asks for an extension on something and he doesn't get it, every time he doesn't get an early dismissal or a stay on a certain court date because of his election campaign, he's going to take this and add all this up and show bias from the judge. When you already have other judges calling him a racist and homophobic who are a part of this, that doesn't help Trump. She needs to shut her mouth, because all that does is give Trump ammunition and say, look, here's one of your peers saying the same thing that obviously you think about me. There is a bias in the community with left-leaning judges and progressive judges and attorneys. And I can demonstrate this. Here are all the CNN articles. Here's all the people who work within the legal system who've spoken out against me. Here's all the lawyers that they've tried to indict and tried to ruin their careers. Here are friends of mine who they've made up trumped up charges in order to get them to flip on a RICO case, so I stand witness against Donald Trump. He's going to own them. So by her setting it for 7 months, let me ask you a question. 7 days for those boys being framed for what they did? Yeah, that's absolutely too soon. But how many thousands of pieces of material, just because it's digital, doesn't make it easier to read? Sure, you can do keyword searches, but it doesn't give you context. It doesn't give you the ability to actually read and put the links together. That's what dissemination is. You've got to see where the smoke is before you claim fire. And you can't just go in there and search random keywords. Sure, that will help you on things that they've already charged you with. But when you're doing discovery, it's to uncover what you don't know. That's what discovery is. And it's what the prosecution is going to bring against you. That's the first step. You then have to do investigative work disproving all of the shit that they're coming up with. The fact that they're making this 7 months right before Super Tuesday is ridiculous. A case of this magnitude, a case of this size. I'll tell you what, if you think I'm wrong, then explain to me why Hunter Biden, with 2 tax evasion charges and a weapon charge, took 5.5 years. How did Hunter Biden take 5.5 years for 3 charges, but you expect Donald Trump to go ahead and have this all ready in 7 months? Good fucking luck. Good luck on getting that to stick. And anybody, and a judge should know that. And I'm not even a lawyer. Pre-law, 2 years of criminal justice. And guess what? I even know that. Precedent. It's not about what the case was about. It's the circumstances of the case and being able to show where other judges, other jurists have made a decision that's contradictory to your own. That's equal representation of the law. And that's why precedent is so dangerous. Liv, I went off, but do you have any questions on that?
Nope.
Okay, great. We don't call her the best color commentary.
I kind of drowned her out after the first couple sentences, to be completely honest.
I know, till like Snoopy. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, this one everyone's waiting for. This is a young man. And this is in Colorado, I believe. I'm not going to talk about the kid's name. He's too young. In fact, I even questioned playing this video, but because of the seriousness of it, I am ashamed of my old stomping grounds. Very frustrated. This young man has a backpack. They're very similar to Ethan's. Ethan has patches on his backpack. Ethan wears certain shirts. Hayden wears shirts. And if they said you couldn't wear a shirt, we would be okay with that, right, Liv?
Yeah.
Just dress code. But patches seem to be okay. Camouflage backpack, whatever. Ethan has a camouflage backpack. Nobody says that he can't do that and that it represents something. This young man has a Gadsden flag. Everybody knows what the... Hey, Liv, could you grab that? Please, honey. Behind you. The Gadsden flag. It's the Don't Tread on Me flag. It is a Virginian flag. It is... and not just our state. Here, you got to take it out of the light. Let me see if I can.
There you go.
Move the mic. Okay. There's 2 autographs on there. And 2 of the survivors from Benghazi. Tonto's one of them. And we've had a chance to have them both sign it. It's, you know, so it's a part of our history. It's not they're saying it's a flag based in slavery, which is the furthest thing from the truth. It was the American Revolution. And Don't Tread on Me is specifically a libertarian viewpoint of the government not treading on us. It's not called the Don't Tread on Me flag. It's a Gadsden flag. And there's nothing racist about it. There's nothing Union to Southern Confederate soldiers related in any way, shape, or form. But because this young man put it on his backpack, they have multiple times brought him into the classroom. And they have done constant pulling him and haranguing him for this backpack. On the back of it, it says his name for president. He dresses, it looks like Benny Johnson, but he dresses, he would be a dream student to have. And this is completely wrong. And just listen to the craziness. I'm going to do some commentary, but this is going to piss Liv off.
Thank you. Do they know what the Gadsden flag is? That it's a historical flag?
So they're, the reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade. That is what was,
so they're saying they don't want the flag represented because of its representation towards slavery and the slave trade. And that is nothing that flag represents. There were several comics done by Ben Franklin. And if you guys have all seen the separated snake with all the 13 original colonies, and it says join or die. And what it was talking about is the individual parts of the snake are nothing, but the snake altogether, England can't suppress and stomp out. Very simple, join or die flag. Very similar to that. The Gadsden flag, the 13 stars. What they're trying to do is they're trying to change American history. They're trying to snuff out the truth and replace it with the 1619 Project and a revisionist histories, just like the Daughters of the Confederacy did with the Ku Klux Klan. The same Southern effort. This is where you see all the Southern statues put up to generals and Confederate leaders all over the United States. Were all done by the Daughters of the Confederacy. And they absolutely were advocating that the Civil War was fought for because of labor, specifically free labor and paid labor, when that's the farthest from the truth. It was literally paid labor and slavery. And the Daughters of the Confederacy are still around today. And they have a revision history to what happened in the United States, very similar to the 1619 Project. But just one comes from the laurels of the Klan, and one comes from the laurels of anti-American, specifically African-American groups. So you can sit here and say all you want that the Don't Tread on Me flag has to do with slavery and the Civil War, and it has nothing to do with either.
The Gadsden flag.
the Don't Tread on Me.
Okay. Which is the Gadsden flag. Okay, so he's what's going to happen if he doesn't take it off?
He is able to go. I was actually just telling him, like, I was upset that he was missing so much school. I'm like,
They certainly weren't upset during COVID when they made him miss 2 years, Olive.
Nope. So I asked if can he just take his stuff out of his bag and go back to class. Like, I just want him to go back to class. The bag can't.
The mother took the video and set up the video on the baby carriage. And whether unbeknownst to them or not, it doesn't matter. She recorded the whole thing. I would have too. I would immediately have broken out my camera.
Go back. It's got the patch on it because we can't have that in and around other kids. So that's what I was trying to, and then he said you were close. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with slavery. That's like the Revolutionary War patch that was displayed when they were fighting the British. Like that wasn't, that's the revolution. Maybe you're thinking of like the Confederate Confederate flag.
Okay, I
Is
am
there
just
history
here
to
to
it?
enforce.
Tell them.
No, I am here to enforce the policy that was.
So I'm here to remain ignorant in a place of education and learning, and I refuse to learn. I refuse to listen to your truth because it's not your truth, my truth, his truth, her truth. It's simply just facts. And in a place of education and learning, I refuse to listen to you because it doesn't comply with the indoctrination that we're programming your child with. Are you fucking kidding me? This is Colorado. This is Colorado. I want to create a GoFundMe for this kid's college tuition. This kid needs to run for office. The only thing that the Gadsden flag would bring to anyone is, what does treed mean and why is there a snake? And it's a conversation piece. This is a place of higher learning. This is a place of education. And the leftists, the liberals who call us the uneducated party that actually has a voting demographic, the uneducated. That's how they describe us. The flyover states, the Rust Belt, thinks that we're stupid. A bunch of redneck hicks. All we go ahead and do is drink our beer and sleep with our cousins. Do sleep with my cousin. Sorry, Liv, we had to tell him. But that's what you're saying. And then you won't even listen and learn and say, you know what? I'm aware of what the Don't Tread on Me flag is and the Gadsden flag. I am aware of its etymology and how it was created. And I don't necessarily agree with this. So I'm going to give you the ability to file a grievance with the school board. Here's our next meeting. But as of right now, we just need him to take it off. And you know what? As a parent, you can say no. You can look to your kid and have them make the decision. Or you can simply say, fine, we'll put it off until the meeting. Whatever you want to do as a parent should be your decision and not necessarily just the child's. Because this is not their decision. Just like getting reassignment surgery isn't their decision, or driving a car, or doing an 8-ball of crack cocaine. No. He's a kid. Now, do you think the parents may have influenced this? Do you think the dad may be a veteran? Maybe. Do you think I influence my kids? I think so. But you know what's funny is when my daughter, I asked her if she wanted to wear one of my shirts, and she said, it's probably not a good idea. And she knew well enough not to create waves. Good for her. But it doesn't matter. If they can, here's why. How many BLM patches or LGBTQ rainbow patches have they brought kids out of class for and told them that they cannot go to school? Please give me the times that they've done that. And if they haven't, I would sue this school up and down the frickin' train tracks. Because you're damn right that they've got a BLM flag at that school. They've got a pride flag at that school. That they're probably not flying the American flag in the classroom, certainly in this office, because this is where parents go. But if you're going to allow that, and you say that religion can't be in schools, fine. Then you know what? Either can you focus on transitioning our children. You can't focus on singling out some politics are okay and others aren't. That you can't support BLM and LGBTQ, but you can't wear a Don't Tread on Me flag or a 13-star flag or wear a red, white, and blue shirt on 4th of July. It's bullshit.
Provided by the district, and definitely you have every right to not agree with it. I mean,
because the ACLU says that
Look up
he's allowed
teacher's
to wear
card
that.
with all
If you,
the
go on
stickers
their
on.
website, it's
Hey,
says in big.
Boy with Don't
So-
Tread on Me flag stickers.
All I'm saying is that
Unless there's like a ban on patches, period. Like if you said there's no patches allowed at the school, you cannot display what you think or anything like that, or what cheer, anything like that. I think it's like one-sided, because you allow some patches but not other patches.
kids have patches like other names and like the American flag and backpacks.
Yeah. That was.
Look at the disdain from the teacher looking at the kids sideways. First of all, whenever you don't look somebody in the face and you look at them, you're completely sending off signals that you don't respect that person. You're not making eye contact. There's nothing about the kid here. There's no reason for it. Simply saying, oh, it's the rules. Well, you're Karening then. take some responsibility. Explain why. Explain why there's a problem. There isn't one. Nobody believes there's a problem, but explain why. If we are all about teaching, truly teaching Black history, white history, but more importantly, just the history of this country, then Don't Tread has to be involved. The Gadsden flag must be involved. You've got to include the Come and Take It with the Alamo. You've got to include Molon Leve. You've got to include the 13 stars. And yes, the Confederate flag too. You have to include the Nazi flag with world history. There's a reason why. Because when we shun these things and put them away and pretend that it's too serious for people to consume, all you're doing is creating what is passed as prologue. You're just creating the very thing you're trying to avoid. Here's the rest.
Like flown during the revolution with.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I just don't understand that at all.
So what I can do is
And if you go onto the ACLU's website, let's talk to someone, because I don't want a lawsuit. I really don't.
I can have you speak to Jeff Yoakum
Okay.
again. And then he can refer you to our person at the district.
Okay.
Because, like I said, we're following district policy, is what we're doing. So, the last thing I want is him out of class.
Yeah, I know.
That's all.
He
the last
takes
thing I
his
want.
classes seriously.
Yes.
He studies. He wants to get straight A's. He did that. He made honor roll when he was here before.
Yep.
He intends to do that again right now, but it's hard because he keeps missing class for this. So
I understand that.
yeah, and I mean, we teach him to always stick up for your beliefs. And I mean, you're going over the revolution for 7th grade. I mean, the founding fathers stood up for what they believed in against unjust laws. This is unjust.
Okay, like I said, we're upholding a policy that was provided to us, which we have to uphold.
Okay, can you show me where the policy?
So if you think that's wrong, this is one of the cars in the teachers' parking lot, according to this photo. And whether this is true or not, I have not confirmed it, but I don't see any reason why not. I see a picture of the kid right there. And this is what's on it. See if I can get this in a full screen.
What state is the license plate?
It's blacked out. Why?
Because it looks white from that picture, and that's usually.
Oh,
not.
it's North Carolina.
That's where I'm a little like.
Well, let's find out where it was located, Liv.
He's in Colorado Springs, is where the school was.
Well, the teacher can be from North Carolina, right?
Could be, but you would think it sounds like the teacher's been teaching there for.
Not
a
all.
while.
It's one of the teachers. They said. The picture looks real to me. I'm looking at the kid. I'm looking at the backpack. It's a good shot of the pack. The Don't Tread's on there. All the patches are in the right place. There's an Archangel Michael on there. There's a military patch of Protect. I think that's the U. That's St. Michael. Protect us. So he's Catholic. He's got the Don't Tread. And this teacher's vehicle says, Make America Green Again. Don't be trashy. Bunch of, Greenpeace style. Looks like there's a quote by Marxist Leninism there. And even so, if this is a student's backpack versus a car, to me, this sends a mixed message. That politically, that's what this is. This has nothing to do with what's best for the school. It's what's best for this teacher's eye. Now, Benny Johnson put this up, so now I'm immediately got to check it.
Well, I just looked into. I guess this kid just won, and he gets to keep his backpack. And I guess that he got real popular with a lot of the students, made some new friends. Everyone was full friendly, but I guess when he would walk down the halls, he would get glares from a lot of different teachers. So he's not popular with the teachers, but he's popular with the kids.
Yeah. I'm showing the picture now. This picture is real. Yep. And good for him, because it should be. I've said this on this show many times, that the U.S. flag is already defined. And for people like Colin Kaepernick or Megan Rapinoe or any leftists who hate the flag, the colors dignify and signify, it's already established. The stars, the field of blue, the shape of the flag, the way it's actually measured. Everything about it is already defined. You can't change its meaning. And every flag out there, whether you agree with the Confederate flag or not, has meaning and has purpose. And it wasn't, the South was not always treasonous against the North. They were simply a group of people who disagreed with the way that things were decided as far as agriculture, as far as innovation, how machinery was the future, and could not financially keep up with the demands of a North that was already 2 decades ahead from a mechanical standpoint, from an ag and development standpoint, from an industry standpoint. And the South knew that they were going to be behind the 8 ball and would lose even more and ultimately have to matriculate into the North and succumb to whatever ideals a Northern state populace had and the South didn't. Now, does that make them right? Fuck no. The South was treasonous. But it's not like the North was completely, the most docile and affable group of people. It's where the money was. It's where the leaderships were. It was where the politicians were. It's where the decisions were made. Higher tariffs were put on the South. Their revenue and their margins were lower, and they were literally in a position where if you would have taken away their slaves, the South ultimately would be absorbed by the North. And we know that would have happened. Does that mean you perform sedition and treason against your country? No, of course not. But that's what they did. And slavery, although wrong, was an economic, morally depraved reason, but still something that the North took part in and did not have all their slaves freed, even when the Civil War was going on or when the Emancipation Proclamation, there were still slaves in the North. So you can't sit here and say that, all of a sudden it's the Great White Hope and the beacon on the hill. The North was just as guilty, and there were slave owners up until after the Emancipation Proclamation. So to sit here and say that the South is completely wrong in this endeavor is a myopic way of thinking, just like you can sit here and say that the United States has done nothing wrong in the existence of its country. Well, that's completely bullshit. We have to assume that the most things the United States has done is for the greater good, but then we've done some things for the greater bad too. So let's stop pretending that the South is just completely abhorrent in everything it did. And by the way, those Democrats are the ones who ran the Klan. So it's awfully funny that liberals are challenging. Maybe they don't want that taught. Maybe they don't want, because when you look at the don't tread signifies the early stages of conservatism and classic liberalism, which is what conservative and liberal values are founded on, from a anti-federalist, anti-government standpoint, which is what the Founding Fathers wanted. And you can see the lines of delineation between a very strong union that was financially driven and industry driven, and a South that was dependent upon slave labor. Now, you can lump all that in, that all slavery is all about the Confederate flag. Well, then, damn it, then you can't be mad at Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. because slavery was in the North too. And if you despise the Confederate flag, well, then time for you to go ahead and hate Old Glory, I guess. But see, that's the problem, is the flag isn't defined by you. And it's not defined by a few groups who have taken it and owned it, like the Aryan Nation and Ku Klux Klan. And people who have racist ideologies. Just like people who burn the flag don't speak for what it stands for and don't get to desecrate it in any way, shape, or form, because they can burn as many as they want and thousands will take its place. You have to be careful with labeling specific instances for an entire movement. Now, you can look at the Nazi flag and you can say that the Nazi flag from beginning to end, absolutely 100%, had no value, with no equivocation. And if anyone uses that flag, they are simply doing the absolute worst that mankind has done to a group of people, at least in the top 10. But if you say that, are we allowed to look at the Buddhist and Hindu symbols that it represents, which is the reverse swastika, which means hope and light and sun and everything else, which is used by an entire culture of people? Does that mean that they're now Nazis? Because Adolf Hitler was obsessed with religious artifacts and relics and took many symbols that he collected over the years from other cultures and dignified or made them signify the worst parts of society? No, you can't. Frustrates me. Liv, what do you think? I mean,
well, so Debbie had a comment on Facebook. She said, who cares if he's popular with the teachers? Apparently they don't know what they're teaching anyway. I agree with that, but who cares if he's popular with the teachers? This is from past with Hayden, beginning of 5th grade. First week of school, and of course it's virtual, so she's on her computer. I was at work, but Matt caught it on video, and her teacher said, she's young, I think she was like 22 or 23, it was her first year
I'll find
teaching, and says that COVID is the worst thing to happen to the world, period, ever, period. So Hayden, on her computer, raises her hand and says, well, what about the Holocaust and the world wars and the bubonic plague, and starts talking about all these things. And that teacher made her life a living hell for the next semester. I mean, constantly sending over emails that Hayden was doing stuff bad and wasn't turning in stuff. So, of course, I would contact her back. Oh, no, she turned in her stuff. So why are you including us on these emails? Then constantly ranting and raving about her writing and this and that and this and that. And then we get her report card, and she's got mostly C's and a couple of B's. And that is not Hayden. So we called the principal and had a sit down with the principal, said if Hayden earned these grades, give them to her. But if she didn't, because this does not match anything that her teacher has said about her all semester long, then her grades need to be fixed on what she actually earned. And guess what? Her grades were fixed 2 days later, all brought up to B's and A's. Just because this teacher was pissed that a 5th grader called her out on her bullshit. And she took it out on her and made Hayden miserable. We pulled her out of that class, put her in a different class for the second semester, and it was on Ethan's record that he is not to be in her class in 5th grade, and he wasn't. Thank God.
when was this roughly?
This would have been in 2020.
I know, but when
September. It would either been late August or early September 2020.
Okay, see, I'll find this.
So
there it is. See, that's why I love you, because you're so good at this. Here you go, everybody.
Dates? Yeah.
Here you go, everybody. Watch this. In a second.
Thomas, she still teaches at the same school, but she don't mess with us anymore. She doesn't even look at me when I go to the school for anything. She freaking walks the other way. She don't like me very much.
September 2020. I had it.
I think you got to go into all your videos, not just your pictures.
No, I'm not in my pictures. These are all my videos. I found it. I just dragged and dropped it in the wrong spot. Here it is.
Yes, I actually have a question about how COVID-19 was the second worst thing that has ever happened to America.
So I was talking to Kai about that, and it's not that there weren't other pandemics, my love. It's that it's been one of the most devastating ones. So yes, there are some other ones. Cameron, yes, buddy. But let's put it this way: since 9/11 happened, that's been like the most world-changing event. Let's put it that way, because it's happened all over the world. Okay?
Yeah, but what about Vietnam and the Civil War and World War II and World War I and stuff like that? That wasn't devastating?
Yeah, those ones too. I just mean in respect to how it's affected the whole world. Does that make sense? Because there's some happening in one place, and then there's things happening in the entire country, and then there's things that affect the whole world. But regardless of how many people were lost, it's just, my point is that we gotta recognize that it's important.
That's one of the teachers. So, you know, people go, they're not trying to indoctrinate children. They're not trying to, this is ridiculous. I can think of 100 things that were worse than COVID. And we can start with diphtheria. We can start with obesity, tuberculosis, the common flu, bubonic plague, Spanish flu, influenza, AIDS, herpes, starvation, genocide, diamond smuggling, the Bolsheviks, mass graves in Kenya, Peru, the Mayans and the Aztecs, Civil War, World War II, World War I, Vietnam, Korea. I mean, we can just sit here and go on and on and on. Cancer. I mean, can you think of some others? Pearl Harbor, 9/11, in my opinion, damaging than COVID. Listen, I'm not saying that COVID wasn't bad, but essentially, if you look at it, we got really upset over a very aggressive cold. Thomas says herpes. Do you want to know how many people get malaria and herpes every single year? You don't think herpes is life-changing for people without the medication for malaria and herpes? Sure is. Ask Africa. Look at the sexually transmitted diseases that are not treated all over the world. STDs are predominantly one of the first killers in the world today. So I'm not saying COVID wasn't a big deal. Of course COVID was a big deal. It's horribly sad. People died. But predominantly healthy people didn't. Until something else happened, which I can't say because I don't want to get banned on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my wife, Olivia Spear. She's got her 1 minute, and then I'm going to do mine, and we're going to get out of here. Liv, go.
I already had my 1 minute.
That's
about
it?
Hayden.
That's all you got?
Mm-hmm. I don't like being put on the spot. I'm not good with just...
Why can't you make something every single show and come up with something and be like, you know what? This is what I'm going to talk about. Here's my minute.
Because that's why I'm the pretty face of the show. And that's
Whatever.
it.
That's bull crap. Hayden's changed, man. She's so much different. She was like itty bitty back then.
Little voice back then.
I love her hair back then. She needs to have it. She needs to have that length again. So if she's going to keep it curly, her hair was awesome. Folks, thank you for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. You can stop by at The Dumb Show. Visit the store at thedumbshow.com.
Head on over to YouTube and give us a subscribe.
Yep. Go and get a cool hat, a shirt, and get yourself a coffee mug over at the Dumb Store if you like the show. Tune in. We will be back on Friday. I'll have a recorded show. I'm off on my days instead of Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do a recorded show tomorrow, and then I will make up and do one on Friday. So be with us on Friday night. Tomorrow we're off. Do me a favor. Go to the site. Remember, like, share. Every time you see something, we get paid on that now, and we're actually doing really well. It's helping out tremendously. It's bringing in some extra money for the family. It doesn't cost you a thing. You don't see any ads or commercials. It's interaction. So Facebook is trying to grow its platform because Twitter is pulling away from it. So they want to try to bring more people back. So every time you like one of my posts, every time you write something, every time you share, I get a little bit of money for it. Not going to lie. It helps out tremendously, so please help. Thanks, folks. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching the Donut and Friendly Show. We'll see you Thursday.
Night, y'all.
Friday, whatever. Bye.
I'm David Boreanaz with the Cast of SEAL team, and we have an important message for returning vets.
We want you to know if you're struggling to cope, there's help and it's just a phone call away.
The Veterans Crisis Line is staffed with experienced professionals who know your struggles.
There's no greater sacrifice in service to our country. We're able to enjoy our freedoms because of it.
Your service is important, you are important.
For vets and their families, the Veterans Crisis Line is here to help 24 hours a day. Please call